Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Ange, one half of the duo, and today I have for you guys a feature match bringing you Shaddolls versus Zoodiac Eldlich. Now, I know it's been a while since we've had one of these feature matches, but I'm glad that we're bringing them back to you guys. But before we get into the feature match commentary, I would like to remind you guys all to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel because we have new videos coming every Monday and Wednesday. Now, it's time to get in this commentary. We had Shaddolls starting off first with a Red Eyes of Dragoon play and one monster set and one spell and trap set. And then it is passed off to the Zoodiac Eldlich player. So the first things what's going to happen is they're going to activate a Cursed Eldland. They're going to, pay 8 to feel great. So go ahead and pay that cost. And in response, our Shaddoll player is going to activate a Ghost Ogre, making sure that we cannot get that search, but that is all okay because in the long run of things, they're just going to send something else instead. So the Eldlich player goes ahead and sends that yugioh because at least they're going to be guaranteed a Golden Lord at most, which is still really good to end on. So he goes ahead and thinks a little bit, seeing what he's going to do. He's going to normal summon that Whiptail and then just go in for the Hammer Kong. Go in for that Borbo, trying to get some extra materials on there for the Zeus play, but he's going to go ahead and activate that Super Polymerization. Now that was kind of hurtful, I'm not going to lie, because we really wanted to make that early Zeus, that way it puts a lot of pressure on the Shaddoll player, but it's okay. So he goes ahead and gets that Shekinaga, and then that's all that's going to be done. We're going to go ahead and set 2, end phase activate the yugioh. And then we're going to see if he lets it go through with the Dragoons. He's going to think a little bit. Now, if I were him, I would have probably said okay to that because at the end of the day, the next turn when you summon out the Golden Lord, that's when you really want to stop it. But I could see as his point of wanting to stop it immediately. But that's okay because we just dropped the Forbidden Droplets on him. We're going to try to get as much resources as we can for the Eldlich player. And so that way, in the long run, we could just outgrind him from there. So it's going to go ahead and set us a Scarlet Sanguine and a Conquistador. Now that's going to be really strong for us because all we really have to worry about is just the Dragoon. He doesn't have a lot of Shaddoll plays going on. The Shekinaga is not that hard to get over, to be completely honest. So, looking at a graveyard, we've already ran through at least one Zoo monster and a few utility spells and traps, and then obviously went through some of our golden lands. But he's going to start off, and he's just going to go straight into attack position with the Shekinaga, and probably start swinging in. As he does, he declares an attack with the Shekinaga. He's going to think about letting that go through. And if I were him, I would just negate that straight up, because you definitely do not want the Golden Lord to come out, like at all. That is not a good sign. So what's going to happen is he's going to think about it, and then he's going to let it go through. Going to go ahead and get that Golden Lord. Now that was a misplay on his end. I would have just negated that, but then again, it all depends on what he has in his hand. So what he's going to do is he's just going to attack over it with the Red Eyes of Dragoon, and I'm going to think about that. And then in damage calculation, I will go ahead and activate that Forbidden Droplet as it's activated right now. And then I will go ahead and pretty much gain some serious advantage. I'm going to go ahead and drop that Droll and Lockbird because it was kind of sitting dead anyways in our hands, as the main deck Droll versus Shaddoll is not too good. So what he's going to do is he's going to take some damage, and then he's going to set 1, pass it on off. And end phase, I'm going to Conquistador, destroying that Dragoon. What he's going to do, he's going to chain the El Shaddoll fusion. Let's see what happens. But he cannot activate the Shaddoll fusion because he just set it that turn. That's something to keep in mind for you guys. If you guys do set a spell or trap quick play, you cannot activate it the same turn it was set. So he's going to go ahead and let that go through. I'm going to go ahead and activate Scarlet Sanguine on the end phase as well. So I go ahead and then get that Conquistador for the next turn. So right now I'm applying a lot of pressure because the only thing he has now is just one Shekinaga and then the Shaddoll fusion, so there's really not much he could do. So he's gonna go ahead and pass play right back to me. We're gonna go ahead and then get that Link Spider off with the Conquistador, just so that way we could, further our Eldlich engine, so that we could, go ahead and grind them out more. But we're gonna go straight to the end phase again, using the Conquistador effect, and then just getting the Scarlet just to add up another Golden Lord on the field to apply even more pressure. That way we could just start sending things from our back row and then make indestructible Golden Lords. He's gonna go ahead and attack, but I have the Shakanaga, and then he's gonna think about this if he wants to activate the Shaddoll fusion, which he does. So he uses the Ghost Ogre and the Shakanaga to go ahead and get that free construct. Now, what's gonna happen is, as we all know, Shaddoll effects all happen at the same time. So he wants to get back the Shaddoll fusion, and he's gonna use construct effect. Go ahead and set the Wendy. The Wendy's gonna go ahead and set him another card for free, which is really strong. So he's gonna go ahead and get that beast because he is low on hand advantage. So just drawing at least one free card off that beast for the next turn is gonna be really good. Go ahead and get the construct effect, engrave, but he has no fusions. Now that hurts. That really does hurt for the Shaddoll player, because if they're not fusing, they are definitely losing. So he's gonna go ahead and let's continue on with our plays. We're gonna go ahead and Link summon for the barricade board blocker. Now the reason why we did that is because we just don't want to have the Link Spider on the field at all. It's just free advantage, and an extra 1,000 damage is always pretty good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead, get the Scarlet Sanguine out, get the Golden Lord, and then attack over, and then straight up go for the 35 with the Golden Lord. Now this is pretty good, because just because we didn't activate the Scarlet to get the other Golden Lord, it was really nice because now we have the advantage to just banish it and then get maybe like another Conquistador or Vaquero. But we're going to get another Conquistador because right now destroying things on the field is a lot stronger than actually banishing them. So we go ahead and activate the curse, but is immediately met with a Ghost Ogre. So that kind of hurts. But do not worry, Eldlich still has it in the bag, I believe so. So he's going to go ahead and activate that Shaddoll fusion because we have a monster summon from the extra deck. So he's going to go ahead and get the Squamata. And then he's also going to send the Trick Clown for the other construct. Really burning through those constructs this match, as that's probably one of the strongest cards to use against Eldlich, because getting rid of those Golden Lords is really good against this deck. But so he goes ahead, pays 1,000, goes ahead and uses the Trick Clown effect. Now he's getting really low on life points here, and that actually does matter in this matchup specifically, because the Golden Lords could just attack over any monster in Shaddoll. It doesn't matter what it is. They'll always need to get over something. So it's always to keep in mind. Normally we don't think about life points as like something that could end the game, but in this matchup you kind of do have to think about it in that aspect, because there are a lot of things that pay life points. Also, you're burning through a lot of resources. The opponent can just easily run over anything. So he's gonna go ahead and get the Windy effect, and then go ahead and set the Aerial. Now the Aerial in the Eldlich matchup is very, very nice because it allows you to just straight up banish all the golden lands or elixirs. But what he's going to do here is he's going to go ahead and go in the Cross Sheep. And that's also really good for him, because if they're not fusing, they're losing. So he's going to go ahead and then get the effect off the Cross Sheep. And then he's going to use the Shaddoll fusion, get it back. Aerial, get the construct back. Cross Sheep, go ahead and gets the construct. And a lot is going on right now, so we're just kind of declaring chain links of what's going to go off, and then what happens when the Conquistador activates. So what's going to happen is the Aerial is going to go ahead and get the Shaddoll construct, but in turn, on the resolution of things, the Conquistador will end up destroying that Cross Sheep. A little bit of a mix-up while trying to understand things here, but that's just what happens when you play in a real life. You kind of have to talk to your opponent. When you're declaring chain links, let things resolve properly as best as you can, and then play the rest of the game from there. So always being very communicative with your opponent always makes the match a lot smoother and more fun in the long run of things. But continuing on with the match, he's going to go ahead and normal that Candina to get the light stage. Very good in this Eldlich matchup because you're going to force the opponent to keep on activating those golden lands or Eld elixirs, and that's something to always look out for if you are a Shaddoll player. It's something that you may want to throw in your decks. And also, it can make a free Verte Anaconda as well if you are running that Dragoon package, which a lot of Shaddoll decks tend to do because they are in the rogue tier. So just also keep that in mind as well. So right now, our Shaddoll player is just trying to make some sort of board presence so that way they just don't get completely run over. So right now he's thinking about if he wants to link into something, which he does, and he goes ahead and makes the Verte Anaconda. But at this moment, he realizes that once he plays a 200, I could just attack over it and it would be game. So going on to game 2, 1 victory for the Eldlich player, none for the Shaddoll player. I believe the Shaddoll player is going to go first, and they open up very decently. So he's going to go ahead and use the Ghost Ogre and Squamata to go ahead and make that El Shaddoll construct. He's going to go ahead and use that effect of Squamata to get a free send, which is going to send the Shaddoll Wendy, which is extremely good at this point because getting a free set is absolutely superb. And then he's also going to send the Reincarnation with the construct. So I'm gonna go ahead. I tried to activate Ghost Spell, and it didn't really work out because in the card text nothing matched. So something that the Eldlich player has to look out for, activating things during the right timing. Then he's gonna go ahead and summon the Mathematician, one of the strongest normal summons for the Shaddoll deck, period, and always has been since Duelist Alliance. So he's gonna go ahead and then send that send the Beast. Beast will net him a free draw. After that, he's gonna go straight up into the Verite for the Cross Sheep. And I'm gonna go ahead and then Ghost Spell that construct effect, but he's gonna go ahead and use the Shaddoll Incarnation. And then go ahead and banish the construct along with it. He's gonna use Aerial to flip it up. He's gonna go ahead and get the Aerial effect. Getting the construct, then Cross Sheep activates to get him the Squamata. Very, very good at right now. Just comboing off, making sure that he plays through things and sequencing things correctly. That way he could end this game as fast as he can because he knows in the grind game, he's going to have a very tough time. So he goes ahead and makes the El Shaddoll construct, the Link monster. Uses his effect to go ahead and fuse into another construct, netting him another send, and then he gets back the Schism, which is going to be really good against this deck because when you send those Golden Lords, it really, really hurts, to be honest, because having the Golden Lord presence is something that you always want to dominate the match with. And then also to note, I want to apologize for the camera shift there. You know, we didn't notice it during the time of filming, but we will definitely be looking out for it more in the future. So sorry about the inconvenience of that. But going on to the match, he goes ahead and gets the Wendy. And then he's going to go ahead and special summon the Construct Link. Goes ahead, makes Verte Anaconda. And then he's going to go ahead and pay 2k for the Dragoon. But it actually doesn't matter at all because at this point he just gains so much advantage with the Dragoon and Construct that even if I were to have a ton of sets, which I do, and the most unfortunate thing was the Eldlich player did open up 3 Scarlet Sanguines, which is very, very bad. So it's going to go ahead and scoop it up. There's no point in really playing out that. She's just going to gain even more advantage. And then he goes ahead, and another game, he opens up just straight up the Red Eyes Fusion. I'm going to Ash that because I'm not letting that go through. So he's going to set one, set another card, and pass, just like in GOAT format. But I'm going to go ahead and go have my turn. And then I'm just going to set one and pass. Then on his turn, he's going to go ahead and use the El Shaddoll Fusion using the Ogre and the Squamata to go ahead and get himself a construct. Now, this is very good for him. But I do have a Forbidden Droplet, which is really nice at this moment because it only lets him one send, so that way he has to kind of pivot his plays. And also, the construct attack is half, and now my Eldlich engine is going. And now another thing that the Shaddoll player did was he forgot to attack actually, which kind of what could have actually mattered in the long run of things, as this is game 3 and definitely our longest game. So always make sure to attack with your monsters. Or maybe he didn't want to attack and he just knew that it would be destroyed. So something to think about is never waste a battle phase. Always kind of like go into it even if you have nothing, just to bluff your opponent. But continuing on with the commentary, our Shaddoll player is going to go ahead and activate the life stage, forcing off that Conquistador and Scarlet play, which is still really good for us because it's going to get rid of his construct, with something we really need to get off the field at this moment. The reason why we didn't go for the light stage is because it's not really applying that much pressure to us. It's more or less just forcing the activations of our cards that we wouldn't really care about in the long run of things. And then he tried to activate the beast effect, which we did respond to the Ash Blossom, which really wasn't the smartest play because now that he's normal summon the Mathematician, that just puts us so much further back to winning this game. So that was a misplay on my end. Just let the beast go through normally. It's not a big deal netting a draw rather than a send in this deck, because if once they send something from deck to the graveyard, it's really good. Now he's going to go ahead and get rid of that set, which is Summon Limit, which is still a pretty decent card against this matchup. Though this is like a more rogue matchup, I wasn't truly prepared for it like I thought I would have been, but that's just what you have to deal with, especially when you're in tournaments. Just always be prepared for every single matchup because you just have no idea what you're going to face. So he's going to get off this Shaddoll Fusion, go ahead and send the Trickstar and then the Aerial to get the Construct, and then he's going to end up banishing with the Aerial the Ash Blossoms and the Scarlet Sanguines, which is very good on his part because he is going to net a lot of advantage. But when he targets it, I'm going to chain the Scarlet Sanguine so that way he doesn't get to banish it for free. So that way I get at least a Conquistador or a Wakedo set. So he's going to go ahead and then use the Construct effect to go ahead and send himself the Schism. That's going to be really great for him because later on in the match, he's going to go ahead and hopefully utilize that at some point. So at this moment, he's going to go ahead and attack directly for that 15 with Mathematician. And it's about time the first blood was drawn in the game. It took 20 years, but we got there, folks. First damage of the game was dealt. And at this moment, he's going to go ahead and use Verte Anaconda. And then he's going to go ahead and then get the Construct effect because he wants to get that Schism back as soon as he can. So that way he's going to go ahead and set the Schism. And then go ahead and then use the Verte effect for the Shaddoll Fusion. And then at this moment, he is going to use the effect and then go ahead and summon himself a Shaddoll Winda. Now this is very good for him because now it locks me out of my golden stuff and the elixirs because I have to choose between either one of them. But I have a Golden Lord set in my grave, so I am not too worried about that. I could just either summon it and just run right over it with no problems. Now, it would be a problem if he did have a Super Poly set, and then he just get himself another Construct. But as we've seen throughout this match, he has burned through a lot of Constructs already. That's something to note with Shaddoll too, is you don't really want to always burn through your resources, but at certain matchups, you kind of have to just to keep up with the game. So he's going to go ahead, use Schism. I'm going to Ghost Spell that, and then just run right over that window with a 35 Eldlich. And at this moment, I'm pretty solid in this game. I know that for a fact that I definitely have the advantage right now. And then at the end phase, I'm going to go ahead and get the double Elixirs by banishing my Wakedo and my Conquistador, which is going to be really good later on in the match when I could summon out another Golden Lord and then use the Elixir I have set so that I can just send it with another Golden Lord to make another 35 Eldlich, which is going to come up later on in the match, I believe. So he's going to go ahead and use Light Stage, forcing out that Scarlet Sanguine. So I'm going to get a free Golden Lord. Now, I'm not too sure if that was something that he should have done, but if you have it, you have it, I suppose. I don't think that was a right play because he knows that I wouldn't have made a Golden Lord just because I already have the 35 Golden Lord on the field already. But he goes ahead and uses it anyways, then uses Schism to get himself another Construct. And then from there, he's going to use the construct effect to go ahead and send. But right now, I'm just trying to look at his resources and just seeing what he has not used, because he's already went through a lot of his fusions already, which is something that's going to come up later on in the match, as he's just burning through all of his fusions like really fast, because he just can't keep up with the conquistadors, or they're just running over with the golden lords. But he's going to go ahead and get himself a Wendy, do that construct send, and then he's also going to net himself a set with the Wendy, which is really good. And then the Schism will activate, sending the Golden Lord, which is really strong on his end, because now it puts a lot of pressure on the Eldlich player, because now we have to deal with the send when he uses construct to fuse with. So that's just a lot to deal with. So he definitely brought it back, and then also summoning the Wenda and attacking with it in the EMZ, which is really good because he's also trying to just play around other cards like Relinquish Anima or Yugioh if the player is playing it. It's just something to put into good practice. So he's going to pass it off to me, and I'm going to go ahead and get the Tenki to go ahead and get me that Zoodiac Ram. Now finally, I saw a Zoo piece. Now, I rarely actually see Zoo cards in general, even though I run a lot of them. They just don't like appearing in my hand for some reason, which is totally fine. It's okay. So we're going to go ahead and use the Eldlich effect to go ahead and send the Scarlet Sanguine, because at this point we don't even really need it. Make it 35 Eldlich for free, and that way we could also use the Elixir to get ourselves another golden land if we do need it. So we're going to go ahead and then summon that Ram. Now, at this moment, he has to do something, because I could just run right over the window and then just make a Trident, and then it'll put even more pressure on it, because I could just get rid of the Schism that way. So he's going to activate Schism right now, making the Shekanaga, and then he's going to go ahead and send that Ram, which is really good on his part, because anyway where I don't make a Zeus or a Trident is really good on his part. So I'm going to go ahead and enter battle, attack right over that window, because I just don't want to see it at all. And he's going to go ahead, pass play, and then on his turn he's going to go for the draw, and then he's going to think about what he's going to do, because at this moment he has one Shekanaga and one Construct, and then the Eldlich cannot be destroyed by card effects, so he really has no ways to play right now. He's already run through so much of his fusions, especially that we've seen he's going through his windows, his Shekanaga, his constructs are running very low. Dude, there's just nothing he could do at this point, and he's just trying to grind me out as best as he can. Like maybe the only other fusion that he may have at his disposal is probably like an Epsilon, which he is probably going to think about going for. But as we see, he does use the Mathematician, sending him that Wendy. Now Wendy at this point in the game is going to be really good, because it's going to keep netting him those sets, and there's really no way for Eldlich to get rid of that, to be honest with you, without proccing one of the effects. So I'd rather just use the flip effects for the Shaddoll monsters, as their card, if they're sent to the graveyard by card effect, it's a lot stronger than if they were just to be flip summoned. But I'm going to go ahead and then chain that Conquistador with that Light Stage, and then this puts him in quite a pickle as well, because now he's going to be forced to send something on the field, which he doesn't want to lose monster presence a lot. But I know in the long run of the grind game that sending that Schism is definitely going to hurt a lot more, because now he has no other option to get rid of those golden lands or golden lords in general. So he's going to go ahead and just enter battle phase, and then he's just going to use the Shekanaga to attack over that Conquistador, which is really, in retrospect, it's okay, because he just doesn't want anything to get past, and he already knows that all of my Scarlet Sanguines have been used, and I definitely don't run the Black Elixir or White Elixir at this moment, because there's just no room in the Zoo Eldlich engine at all for me, because I play a lot of reactive cards like Droplets, Book of Moon, etc., things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and then use that Scarlet in my grave that was sitting there to hit at me another Conquistador. That way it just applies more pressure to his board just to get rid of some sort of fusion that I don't want. So I'm going to go ahead and send that Tenki for the other Golden Lord, making it a 35. Cannot be strawberry card effect. Very, very nice in this matchup specifically. Then I'm probably going to go into battle phase at this moment. Now the reason why you want to go into battle phase and not use the Conquistador is just because there's really no point in using it at all. So now he's going to be forced to use the El Shaddoll fusion. That way he can probably get back a Schism or get back another fusion at his disposal. So at this moment, I'm like, okay, so what can he really go into that's going to really hurt me? Honestly, nothing, to be honest with you. So he's really thinking about it if he wants to get rid of it or not. But so he goes ahead and gets rid of the Shekanaga and the Construct, netting him both a Schism and nothing else at that moment. And then he has the Abkalon, which is going to use the effect to try to shut off the Golden Lord, but it is not an activated effect, so it doesn't really do much at that point. So he's stuck, and then I'm going to go ahead and just swing right over, and then he's going to go ahead and then use the Epsilon effect to discard and then search one. So he's going to go ahead and use the Wendy that was in his hand, and then Wendy's going to go off, and then he's going to get himself another search, which probably is going to be nothing at this point because he doesn't have anything at his disposal. So I'm going to go ahead and pass play. So he's really low on life points right now. He's at 24. Now that's not a lot in terms of like dealing with two Golden Lords consistently. So he's going ahead, get the Beast, get the draw, use the Aerial effect to get back that Construct. He's going to go ahead and use that Construct effect once more. Now, I really like how this deck utilizes the Banish Zone a lot now. Way back when, without the Aerial, once your monsters were banished, it was really hard to keep playing, but I really like how Aerial just allows you to continue on your Shaddoll plays, even if your Shaddoll monsters are banished. So, props for that good support. Furthermore, as we go into this match, I'm just trying to look at his resources, understand where he's going to go in his line of play. So he's going to go here and make the Selene, just trying to net some sort of advantage at this point. Now, he does have some spells in graveyard as well as I do as well, so Selene will get those counters. Which he's just trying to see what he wants to summon. Now, he can go for an Axis Code Talker, which I know he's probably going to do at this moment. And then, once he makes that Axis Code Talker, I definitely know that he will have game, because the Axis Code Talker will be over 5,000 attack points. So, I'm just trying to think what he wants to do. And then on the resolution of the Selene effect, taking the counters, I will just end up straight up getting rid of it, to be honest with you. Because there's just no way I'm going to have that on board. It's just too strong. So, on resolution, go ahead and get that Conquistador just to destroy that Selene. That way he cannot go into the Axis Code Talker, because that will just straight up end the game there. So, go ahead and do that. Which applies a lot of pressure on his board now, because now what can he truly do to get over a 3,500 Eldlich, a regular Eldlich, and just another Conquistador? So he understands that he misplayed by not activating the light stage earlier, but things happen, and this was a very long match, so concentration does kind of get fuzzy here and there. So he's going to go ahead and pass play, and I'm just trying to think of what I want to do here. So at this moment, I don't have a lot of hand advantage. I really can't do much. A lot of my resources are kind of burnt out. And plus, I'm not really seeing any Zoodiac cards, which really hurts. Oh, that was a little misplay, so showing my cursed held land on exit there. But that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that Conquistador for the Link Spider. The Golden Lord is just going to go ahead and attack over that Abkalon. He's going to go ahead and let that go through, which is going to be really good for him, because now he's going to go ahead and get a free search and a discard, possibly. So he's just thinking of what he wants to do, what he can do. Like I said, this is a true grind game. A lot could happen. A lot of one false move could really end the whole game from here. So he's going to go ahead and get the Wendy effect. Man, so many Wendy's activated in this whole game. This such a strong card. Very, very versatile in the Shaddoll deck. At this moment, he doesn't have a lot, but what he truly does need is possibly like some sort of spell or trap. So he's going to go ahead and set that hedgehog. And I just want to know how much attack it is. That way I don't make a misplay. It is player knowledge at this point. So he's going to go ahead and attack it over with the Link Spider. And then he's going to net a Shaddoll Fusion, which is going to be really good at this point. And then on resolution of the damage calculation, he's going to activate the Red Shaddoll Fusion, or excuse me, Red Shaddoll Incarnation. And then he's going to get himself another free monster, which is really good because at this moment, if he did not have that, he would have truly been dead. So he's going to go ahead and then get the construct effect to send another Shaddoll card from his deck to the graveyard. And at this moment, he's going to go ahead and send that El Shaddoll Fusion. So then that way, when it does go to graveyard, he at least has some sort of play to fuse into something, but not too sure what it could be because he's kind of running out of those fusions there, as we stated beforehand. Now at this moment, I'm really trying to figure out what I want to do here. I could go for either like a few link plays to spin away that construct, do like a Nightmare Phoenix, or I could go for like a barricade board blocker, or maybe I could go for like a Nightmare Phoenix. There's just a lot of different plays I could go ahead and go into. I do have the field advantage and the hand advantage at this point in the game, so I'm really trying to figure out what I want to do. Another thing that's really hurting me right now is not drawing into any Zoodiac cards this period. I drew into like that 110 netting me that Ram, and that just really sucks because now I know I have a whole Zoo engine in my deck somewhere that's not being utilized. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the Link Spider and the other Golden Lord to get me the Phoenix. So at this moment, I'm going to pay 8 and feel great, but it's immediately met with a Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. And it even hurts so much more because I can't even get the send with the Eldland because I have nothing else in my deck at this point. It's kind of embarrassing that I haven't seen any Zoo cards. But so, that is all okay. We're just going to have to figure out a way how to steal this game. So he's going to go ahead and normal summon the Trick Clown, getting him a Cross Sheep. Now this is going to be really crazy and really crucial this moment because I have no cards in hand and I just have a Eldlich and a Nightmare Phoenix. But this is where he misplays and it costs him the game. Straight up costs him the game. He pays 1,000 life points for the Trick Clown to come back, and then he's going to go ahead and net himself just maybe go into like another extra deck monster or something, or some other advantage that he has. But his resources are so low at this point that there's just no reason why he should have even used it. So he's going to go ahead and set a card, and then pass play. And this is just not good right now. This is just not good. I'm going to go ahead, enter battle. But oh wait! He has the Red Shaddoll Incarnation. Something may happen here. Something could happen. He's going to go ahead, and then he's going to probably get himself another construct. Let's see what happens here, folks. We're waiting. Slow play. Nah, it's okay. Sometimes you really have to think at these moments because a lot of times you just never know what could happen at this moment. So he's looking at all of his resources, seeing what he could do. He's going to summon that El Shaddoll construct as we initially stated. He's going to go ahead and net himself a send, but there's really nothing else to send, so he's going to go ahead and send that El Shaddoll Fusion. But alas, enter battle. Phoenix will attack over that Trick Clown, and then he misplays, and I just attack over the Cross Sheep for game. Well, that was an extremely long game, guys. I really appreciate you guys if you guys stuck around and to see who won the match. Luckily for us, Eldlich took the dub. But before we end this video, I would like to thank you guys all for watching the video once more. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, because we have new videos coming your way every Monday and Wednesday. And for sure, we will definitely be seeing you guys later. Take it easy.